Hello. I hate every single one of you. This is the Pessimistic Red Panda, and I'm back with a new video. Yay! Yay! Fuck all of you. Fuck you. All of you. Every goddamn last one of you. Just fuck y'all. Well, it seems during my time away I made a huge mistake. Watch my other channel to find out what it is. Link in the description. Sidebar aside, this is a continuation, no 21 tip, of the FNB story arc. Last time on FNB Part 2, FNB went to Iowa to see some bitch that he would break up with 2 months later. Spoiler alert. I've compiled a few stories about FNB that led all the way up to... we'll just hold off on that. Let me just say, FNB Part 4 will be worth the wait. I also know a few of you watching this video are wondering, why don't you release all these stories as separate videos? I can explain that as well. 1, I'm fucking tired of this series. I've given this FNB motherfucker too much attention. I hope if anyone has a friend or an associate like him, I have to offer you this advice. Stay the fuck away. Sever all the ties. Shun that motherfucker. And number 2, the original plan was to do 3 parts. I didn't realize all the fuck shit and ridicule I went through while I was hanging out with him, so I stretched it to 4. Some of you may consider these stories nitpicking or bitching or complaining or being petty. Well, all you motherfuckers can leave. I don't need any of you FNB ass niggas watching my video. But seriously though, I lived through these experiences. I put up with this motherfucker shit for 6 months in 2013 while I was approaching one of the worst fucking times of my life. I think I have a right to tell my side of the story. Now mind you, I can't remember everything, and I probably remember some shit incorrectly. But that's human and Red Panda nature. If FNB want to sit down and discuss all the fuck shit that he did to me, I'm open to it. Let's move on to the stories. The first story I have deals with a cell phone I used to own. My friend G, friend of the show, gave me a Droid X. It wasn't the best phone in the world, but I loved it. I played music on it, kept up with the time. I still was unemployed at this time, so it wasn't on. But I love that fucking phone. I even played around with like some of the clocks, making some clocks and stuff, making some mods. It was a fun phone. I cherish that motherfucking phone. Now, in 2013, you have all kinds of flagships. You had the Galaxy S4, you had the Note 3, the iPhone 5S, the LG Nexus 5, and so on. I mean, these phones were like way ahead of fucking the Droid X. I mean, right now, what do you have now? This is 2019. You had the S10, the Chevrolet pickup, as I like to call it. You have the fucking, I don't even know what the fucking iPhone's called. Whatever the new iPhone is. You have the One Note and all this other shit. Crazy ass fucking phones that are like leagues ahead of these phones that I have listed before. It was the one thing I had that I thought I would never have. So FNB came over one day. He asked for a glass of ice water. I obliged and gave him the water. This motherfucker had took a damn nap. More than likely, this nap was to sleep off a weed high. And during this time, FNB started smoking again. You know, I have nothing against weed. I say legalize that shit, grow the good shit, and tax it. You can solve the motherfucking recession with that shit. If we're in one, we can solve it. Back to the story. My phone was on the table near the water. I can't remember what I was playing. It was 2013. What was I playing? I might have been playing GTA, Grand Theft Auto. And I went to check my phone for the time. My phone was submerged in water. This motherfucker may have took 2 sips from the fucking water and left it on the table. I guess the condensation from the cup seeped into my motherfucking phone. I looked at the screen and it was black. I tried turning it on. Nothing. Man, I was beyond pissed the fuck off. Man, what the fuck? I yelled. FNB just woke up from his nap. This nigga, he didn't even fucking apologize. That's what killed me. He did not even fucking apologize for leaving his fucking water on the goddamn table. You put water next to these electronics. Are you fucking stupid? I think he said something along the lines of, "Hey, I know what to do." A few hours later, And we took another one of those late night trips to fucking Walmart. He got one of those electronic drying kits and tapped on it like it was a solution. Pretty much, it didn't work. I tried leaving it in rice overnight, the next night. Nothing. Phone wasn't on, and I was sad, man. That shit hurt me. That phone was a gift to me that I let get destroyed. It's one of the things I still haven't forgotten to this day, and I still won't forgive myself for it. He mocked my choice in YouTube channels. Back in 2013, YouTube had some pretty good shit. One of my favorite news channels other than Philip DeFranco was SourceFed. I saw Meg Turney, Trisha Hertzberger, Joe Beretta, Elliot Morgan, Lee Newton, Steve Zaragoza. Just so many fucking talented people. Raina Scully, you have Bree Esrig, Rooster Teeth, and SourceFed were my go-to channels of 2013. I remember one day I was watching a video. It said something really, really hilarious. I started laughing at it, and he's like, "What the fuck are you watching?" And I told him I was watching Rooster Teeth and SourceFed. "What the hell is that? Who the hell is SourceFed?" All this other stupid ass shit. This motherfucker scoffed at what I was watching. Like, what the hell is SourceFed and Rooster Teeth? What the hell is this shit? I never heard this shit. This is lame ass shit, man. Now you need to be watching this other shit. And he was talking about these fucking gamer YouTubers. I mean, I know the science behind gaming, YouTube gaming and shit. I know all the setup and all this other shit. More power to them that they're YouTube gaming, but to be honest with you, most of those channels I really do not find entertaining. Like, I can game my fucking self, you know. He hailed this one YouTuber called The Rad Brad, but I didn't scoff at his choice of video. Shit, one time I remember him Facebook messaging me. He was asking me what I was doing, and I was saying watching SourceFed and Rooster Teeth, 2 channels that you scoffed at. And then he denied it. He's like, "I didn't scoff at you." I'm like, "Yes, you did. Don't fucking lie to me." No offense to The Rad Brad, but I don't find his content entertaining at all. Rooster Teeth and Let's Play, Achievement Hunter, I got all kinds of comedy from that. You had Ray, Michael, Gavin, Jeff, Jack, and others. I mean, these motherfuckers had me in stitches. They had me laughing. And they don't try too hard. That's my personal opinion. I have nothing against the guy, but I don't watch his content or find his content entertaining. I must reinforce that. There's something about the name Brad that I can't put my finger on it. I just don't like it. I just don't like that name. It's like Brad Pitt. Is that his real name? Or is that some fucking alias to hide his true identity of a Chechen spy? Oh well, don't mind my cynicism. That may be an unpopular opinion, but if you see from my subscriber count, I'm not a really popular person either. If y'all want some more unpopular opinions, here's some more. Drake is overrated. The streamer Ninja bores me. I find Beyonce unattractive and not all that talented. Oh, here's more. PewDiePie is not that great. The only reason he has nearly 100 million subs is still a mystery to me. The only good thing that motherfucker has done is the creation of the term Twitch thought. And to be honest with you, I don't even think he came up with that. Fucking sue me. The main reason this bothered me was, it was my fucking house. My house, I watch what I want. You don't like it? You don't like it or you don't want me to laugh at it? Get the fuck out. Talking about his friends and his cousins while running shit into the fucking ground. FNB had this bad habit of talking bad about his former associates. And to be honest with you, I didn't give a shit about it. We would start on a conversation and start talking, and then it would always devolve into some run-ins with his former associates. That became a fucking problem. And in every story he told, he seemed like the person that did no wrong. He was pretty much Dr. Dre and fucking straight out of Compton. He did no wrong. As much as annoying pain in the ass as he was, I highly fucking doubt this motherfucker was just a fly on the wall. Look, I don't care how many times this guy was cucked by his best friend or how many times these people will not spend time with you because you just popped up at the most inconvenient time. You don't need to bring that shit up. I'm not your life stenographer. All the talk of underage girls, how people did you wrong and all this other shit. Nigga, I don't care about that shit. Just leave it at that. Don't even get me started on the way he talked about his cousins. Afrocentric homeboy and his brother was FNB's cousin. He would mock them relentlessly, to the point it was almost fucking sickening. It was like this nigga has no filter. He would take something and just run away with it. For instance, friends joke on each other. That's fine. But he just took it and just ran away with it. Then he got graphic with it. I mean, talking about, it's like he went too fucking far with the joke. And then it just became disgusting. There's a difference between trying to joke with somebody and trying to fucking harm somebody. And I think FNB was in the business of trying to emotionally harm somebody. Another instance of him running shit into the ground. There was this one song on the Demigods album, Killmatic, called Captain Caveman. And he would not stop singing that fucking chorus. Maybe that's a little petty, but when you're going around in public saying at it, not even at a hush tone, drag a bitch spot ahead, dead bodies everywhere, I'm a motherfucking. When you're going like saying that shit in public at an audible pitch, people gonna think there's something wrong with your ass. It's really uncouth to be doing that kind of shit. Because of that shit, I almost stopped listening to that album completely. He just would not stop. He would just not stop. Now, mind you, Afrocentric Homeboy killed Outkast for me. He played that goddamn Outer Wild album so many fucking times, I didn't listen to Outkast for 5 years. Oh shit. 2006 to 2011, I did not listen to one Outkast song. If I heard Outkast, I turned it off. I couldn't stand it. I had to ease myself back into it. This was worse. It was 2013 when he ran that song into the ground. And maybe last month, I decided to put that song back on my phone. Maybe that's petty on my part, but that's the way I felt about it. FNB, he is a habitual line stepper. He ran stuff into the ground. He manipulated me and tried to turn me against my friends. And I apologize. I apologize for that. What I mean by that last statement was, he tried to turn me against his two cousins, the same people who introduced me to him. He would drag their name in the mud. He mocked Afrocentric Homeboy's brother's nasally accent. It's like he had it out for them. Me and Afrocentric Homeboy and his brother, we've had our ups and downs. We weren't always fucking close, We've had a lot of disagreements. How we come out of that disagreement, that's how you define a strong friendship. It's not like you keep doing stuff for somebody or whatever. It's like you have your ups and you have your downs. How you come through those downs, and if you're still friends after those downs or whatever, that's what defines a friendship. Not just buying your friends material things or whatever. You can't buy friendship. You can buy an associate, but you can't buy a friendship. I felt like he was trying to social engineer me into hating his cousins to view him more favorably. All he really had to do was be himself, really. FNB just put on too much for no reason. He put on this tough guy, all-knowing, pro-black, anti-cop mode of self-derived perfection, and I almost bought into it. I mean, there's more things I could talk about on this subject, but for the privacy and respect of my friends, I'm gonna leave that shit out. Touching my radio. Yeah, the cardinal black man sin. Even Chris Tucker talk about it. Don't you ever touch a black man's radio, to Jackie Chan in Rush Hour. One day I picked him up from his house, and we just went riding. I was listening to All Hope Is Gone by Slipknot. A lot of Slipknot fans are going to say this is where they completely fell off the tracks. But I actually enjoyed that album. There's a lot of hidden gems on that album. Other than the singles, you had Gematria. I'll explain that in another video or some shit. I don't know. But it's not their best album, but it's not their worst album. But I love that album nonetheless. While we're riding, this motherfucker has the audacity, and I plug his MP3 player to his aux. And I looked at him while he was doing it. I was like, really? Really? He's like, oh man, but it contains metal and all this other shit. And like he tried to justify it because I love fucking metal, but you're still changing what I was listening to. I don't ask anybody. Whenever I get in somebody's car, I just shut the fuck up. They give me a ride, I shut the fuck up. I don't care if they listen to the fuck shit. I will shut the fuck up and just ride. He could at least ask me, hey, can I plug this up? Like, I would've been like, sure. But the audacity of this nigga to fucking plug up his MP3 player without even asking, that shit rubbed me the wrong damn way. It was like one of the highest forms of disrespect. If you hear me listening to something, least you can do is ask me, hey, can I plug my aux in? Listen to something else? I would've been like, sure, I don't mind. But no, there was no respect doing it. He just went ahead and did it. So he started playing his music. 3 minutes later, his MP3 player died. So I guess karma had stabbed him or whatever. Guess what he would have to do? He was stuck listening to my Slipknot album for the rest of the fucking car ride. This story is pretty embarrassing. I pulled my groin during a workout. I guess it's a very common injury because a lot of sports stars, it happens to a lot of sports stars, I guess. But I'll explain. So I was at the Afrocentric Homeboys' house lifting weights. We started doing lunges, and I think in the middle of a repetition, I felt an extremely sharp pain in my ball sack. FNB, who was just standing there looking like a dumbass, didn't do any lifting or whatever. He started laughing at my ass. Afrocentric Homeboy, AHB. I'm gonna start calling him AHB because the Afrocentric Homeboy is getting a little long. So AHB pretty much told me I pulled my groin or whatever. But FNB was just laughing at it like, oh, you pulled the groin. Oh, look. Oh, that's what you get. Also, during that same session, I remember, so AHB, he starts doing bench press. And FNB, who probably has never worked out a single day in his fucking life, he's trying to tell him, man, the bar gotta hit your chest, man. The bar gotta hit your chest in order to do bench press right. To be honest with you, this is one of the parts I might have to agree with FNB with, but weightlifting is a very, very interesting science. There's like certain techniques and stuff to do certain things. Bench press may be one of the most contested ones because I see a lot of sources where if you're just going for reps, you don't really have to let it hit your chest. But another person's like going and say, if you're lifting heavy, you better let the weight hit your chest so you can activate your pecs and all this other shit. I don't really know who to believe because it's a bunch of he says, she says, testosterone says, HGH says, whatever, you know what I mean? So I don't know who to believe on that, but the only thing I did believe at that time was it felt like somebody took a knife to my ball sack and just ripped my balls apart. The wrestling event. I had this friend from high school, J-Mac, and he sent me a message on Facebook Messenger asking if me and some friends wanted to help build a wrestling ring at the State Theater. If we did help, we would get into the show for free. I was like, yeah, I can put together some people. So it was me, my brother from another mother, K Mafia, and FNB. K Mafia and I pretty much did a lot of the work to build that ring. FNB just mainly stood by talking and doing nothing, being his braggadocious self. I mean, of course we had help from some other wrestlers and stuff. And afterwards, we shot the shit with the wrestlers. We talked with them. We watched them run the ropes and take a few bumps to see if the ring will hold up. There's a lot of hard work that goes into building a wrestling ring. Some of the people that don't get the credit are the people that build the wrestling rings. And like at a lot of these indie promotions, it's mainly the wrestlers and some of the referees and other shit. So they work twice as hard. The next night was a wrestling show. The turnout for the show, it seemed pretty okay. I mean, there's like maybe 200 to 300 people. We had wrestling fans from all backgrounds, and you had the smarks gathered outside to talk about the latest rumors in wrestling. You had the kids upstairs on the balcony playing wrestling. You know, the drunks were at the open bar. I feel like some places you feel alienated from. For instance, when I went to this one card shop that was here in Albany, every time I went, I felt out of place. It was a bunch of people like me, a bunch of nerds there, but I felt out of place, like fuck. You know, your anxiety just kicks into high gear. You're like, do I even belong here? At this wrestling venue that night, I felt right at home. Even more so than my home I live in right now. Because the home I live in right now feels more like a halfway house than an actual home. So at the admissions outside, all we had to do was give our names, and the guy would let us in. J-Mac had wrote the names down the night before, and he just gave them to the admissions. When it was our time, FNB decided he was going to display his impressive gift of gab to the person at admissions. He said something along the lines of, "We are guests and honors at this wrestling event." Motherfucker, why didn't you just say we helped build the ring? And the guy at admissions just looked at him. He looked at FNB like he was bewildered, like he was confused. And I was being confused too. What the fuck do you mean, guest of honor? And then he responded, "What are your names?" FNB said his name and the guy looked at the list. He looked at him. He looked back at the list. He looked at him again and said, "Your name's not on the list." Man, FNB had a fucking bitch fit. Man, what the fuck, man? This is some bullshit. While he was going on a tirade, me and K-Mafia has a way more, his real name is way more complicated to say than my name and FNB's name. And he got in pretty easy. Which added a little more humor to this. Luckily, there was a wrestler from the night before that saw what was unfolding, and he remembered FNB and allowed him to enter. The rest of the night went off without a hitch. The home tide hero managed to squash the heel force, and a lot of people came down to the ring and celebrated with the victor. I believe at one point, I don't know when, somewhere he mentioned he wanted to climb to the top rope and jump off and do an elbow drop. Anyone who knows wrestling would realize the most real thing about a fake sport is the pain. Just because professionals make it look easy, it doesn't make it necessarily so. A couple of weeks ago, I had an interview with the dog. Enjoy.
Hello. Here we're seeing the last one of you. I'm not gonna introduce myself. So, yeah. I managed to secure a last minute interview with, the dog. Dog, hello.
Yo, what's up?
Thank you for joining me, once again.
Anytime.
Hey, Pepsi, I want to join. Leave the call, Abdi. But do I have to? I'll pull out my revolver. Okay, I'll leave. Don't hurt me. That was weird. I mean, I don't know how the hell he has the power to do that shit. He just joins the call randomly. Dude's a fucking freak. He's a fucking freak. Anyway, today's interview is about FNB. There's a few answer freaks. Yeah, it was something special. My first question is about, the Dollar General incident. I think it took place in Dollar General. I think there was 2 separate incidents. Might have been more because...
there's several.
Okay, let's hear about a few of them. Mainly about the one about, what is it called? It was a Japanese experiment or some shit called Unit 731. Let's hear about that one, that incident.
That shit was cool. Cause I think what triggered that one was, if I remember correctly, Rooster Teeth had just dropped one of the podcasts where they did an animated adventure, I think, about the whole experiment with the dolphin and LSD, right?
Yeah.
So I think we were talking about that in the shop with and somebody else. So that continued. So that story continued, I think, up to Dollar General, in which, just out of nowhere, he just starts going in, just talking about. First I was just ignoring him because he already talking about some other conspiracy theories already, and I think up here Afrocentric frenzy into him, but this dude just pulling some stuff I ain't never heard of. So then he started talking about some Japanese experiment. I don't rush it, I really wasn't paying attention to that dude.
Yeah.
But then he started going into details. First of all, we was an hour on our own. But then he started going into details as we got in line. Then the details started getting more and more, let's say, not safe for work.
Yeah, it got pretty gruesome, man. It's like got to the point where, like, at that point I was like, it's that feeling of like dread where you know like people can hear you around, and like this guy doesn't have an inside voice.
Agreed.
So it's like building up anxiety and shit. Like this motherfucker is trying to get me fucking, you know, murked or some shit.
And I don't use the word cringe that much because to me I think folks just overuse the hell out of it.
Yeah.
But cringe is a perfect word for that situation. Kind of cashier kind of looked up at him. And then the white people in line, and then they had that kind of solid white person look towards her partner. I think it was a man or woman first, though I can't remember.
It was a black lady, wasn't it?
I think. I know there were a couple people behind us, but I do remember there was a white woman in line somewhere with somebody. But she had that look, or she was looking at a customer or the cashier, and she just had that look like, where's this ignorant, talking about? And then I was thinking the same thing in my mind. I was just like, and I was just looking kind of side glance to everybody else, and everybody else that was with us in the crew had the same look. And I can't remember what was it Afro Central Homeboy was or not.
I can't remember.
Cause that part is fuzzy. All I just know is the cringe factor on that one. That was a 10.
Man, you remember that movie Happy Gilmore, right? That one golfer that always looks at Happy when he does something stupid. He just looks at him, shakes his head. Lee Trevino, that's exactly how I felt. Every time he would do this shit, like.
And it makes me like this is not his first incident of just being loud as fuck in the store and just either telling business or saying some weird, creepy shit because he was sounding off about his, I guess, ex-friends and the things that they did and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking like, dude, you bring your volume down to about 3 or 4.
Yeah, he was at like 12 when it only needed to be at 3 or 4.
I mean, I had to separate myself from the group to go back with the chips.
Mm-hmm.
At the time where that Dollar Tree was arranged, the chips where the chips was and where the little canned goods, snacks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, that was like 3-4 hours down.
Yeah, they rearranged it. Yeah.
So it was like 3-4 hours down, and I could still hear him.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I can pay attention more to his voice because I'm aware of him instead of him just being a random stranger. But still, like, if I can hear that clear about a good 20 feet-ish away, I know other folks up here that was in between those lines hear everything. And he just signed up like he didn't give a damn.
Yeah, he also had this one quirk that pissed me off. Was like, he'd ruin stuff for me. Like one instance, like I remember in the store, he would just go around singing his Captain Caveman song. It was like R.A. Rugged Man, It's Apathy, and Self-Titled. Like, now those are like 3 of my favorite rappers. It was off the Demigod's Killmatic album, but he would sing the hook to that song over and over and over. But when you talking about some of his ex-friends or whatever, that was part of that first question about yeah, when you talked about a certain pedophile and his friend and the cocodrie. Is that right? Is that the right word? Cocodrie?
Yep.
Yeah, that was weird.
First of all, I'm gonna assume I don't even get it. I mean, I never even bothered caring to ask what was all their relations or whatever. Did he want the girl that was involved in this situation? Or did he think he was, or was he bitter towards them because they got something but he didn't? Or whatever? Because
There's some weird shit going on there.
yeah, the way he keep going off about that subject when they come up, I get thinking like, nigga, you heard of something? Cause he like say you seem a little too obsessed about this subject. Cause he just brings it up out of the blue for no reason whatsoever. And then always ragging on the person. And then the one thing I always say, I guess another quote that annoyed me, cause he did the same thing I see a whole lot of niggas do at school. Where they always talk a whole bunch of shit like, oh, if I see that nigga Craig, man, I'm gonna just smack the hell out of him. And then when Craig shows up, he definitely do it up, acting like he's all cool and don't say a single word at all. Then when Craig gone, then he talk about how much he can't stand that nigga. I'm like, you talk this shit when he's not here. When he's here, y'all homeboys. Then you talk shit when he leaves.
I think I call that the Smokey Debo syndrome.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I took it home man said what's up to me. I'm like, the dude said what's up, went back to his business with the shop. This man acting like this man disrespected him all over the place.
The hell?
You don't remember one time I had they dropped him off back at your place or something?
Yeah.
And he was sitting in the back seat.
Yeah.
He was in the back seat going off about how the dude up here, how he up here told him what's up, dapped him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then he caught an attitude like acting like this man tell him what's up as if their paths or whatever they have. And I'm thinking like, why'd you even dap him up then?
I don't get that motherfucker. Yeah, that fucker has some issues, dude. Yeah, I just remember some of the stories he would tell me about, because I think he told me a lot more than he told the rest of us, and I don't think I'm ever gonna let some of that stuff hit the light of day, because I don't want to put anyone else's business out there. I mean, I'll put my business out there because I don't give a shit, but as for that, because I don't really have any ill will towards these people. I mean, why the hell would I, drag their name in the dirt when they haven't really done anything to me?
Yep.
But that guy was seriously butthurt about something. Maybe the party's involved. And there was another guy that shared the other guy's name.
Hopefully the butthurt in this case isn't literal and he just don't want to admit to something.
It might be literal because whatever. Yeah, it was funny. It's funny you bring that up because the Afrocentric homeboy, he always mocked him and his brother a lot when they weren't around, but he'd always expect them to have his back. It's just horrible. I mean, it's like,
yeah, lying, but
we'll get into that later. We'll get into that. We'll say that for part 4. And trust me, if y'all missed the first 3 parts, or 2 parts, or whatever, how many parts there is, you want to stay tuned for part 4. Part 4 is going to be a hell of a roller coaster ride. But anyway, that was a long first ass question. Okay, question number 2.
Mm-hmm.
You remember those YouTube shows we had? Yeah. What's your take about him and the Afrocentric homeboy, mainly him, canceling those 2 shows?
Man, first of all, I mean, just the format how we did those shows weren't gonna have too much of a longer lifespan.
Yeah.
But still, those shows were taken out the back and shot because of that.
If any of y'all didn't know what we're talking about, we had on my other channel, Diakis, we have these 2 shows. I think one got taken, the audios was taken down because of copyright. But we had this show called The Coonies, which highlights the most coonest things. Then we had a show called The Whiteys, which highlight the most whitest things. And The Coonies was in its second go round when we did it, and The Whiteys was the first. It was the inaugural and first and only. And probably, let me put it like this: at the time it was funny, but now it's not too PC. But to us it was fun because me being a mixed child, and Whitey being a white guy. It's sort of funny because, you know, different perspectives, and then you have everybody with these different nominations of different categories. Like, for example, I'll give you an instance, like most coon drink or most coon car, you know, just or the whitest car, the whitest drink, whatever, you know. It was more stereotypical, but it was supposed to be fun. It was supposed to be good fun. It's a joke, you know. Even though some we really meant, because you can't, you know, beat around the bush, like, you know, whatever. Anyway, but
Yeah, like your most common car, like box Chevy Caprice.
man, I still think it's Lincoln Continental. You can see the coonery come around the corner. But anyway, that's not.
Yeah, because you can turn to a donut. I think we expanded. I'm not sure who would have did one that involved Latinos or not, because our crew actually doesn't have one.
What we call it, the beanies. You know
That
what?
will get.
No. See, I can't do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Yep, says you. Yeah, that's dead. That's the
We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. But you know, we're just having a little fun. You know, but I guess FNB and the Afrocentric Homeboy took a little too far, and the dog. Can you explain what had happened?
See. First of all, yeah, it's definitely more FNB because he helped encourage Afrocentric into going as far as he did.
Yeah.
I can't remember I can't exactly remember how he ruined the Coonies, but the Whiteys. I mean, I sensed the coonery. I think we recorded on a Sunday. I think we was at the shop that Saturday, or was it the week after? All I know is leading up to the recording. Leading up to the recording, they were literally talking about it. Last time I seen them, literally talking about sounding off on it when it was announced that we were going to record the Whiteys. So they literally announced that they were going to go off and bring up his past involving these certain people.
Oh Lord have mercy.
So I was thinking in my mind the whole way home. I'm like, they gonna take something that's supposed to be just funny, I guess satirical, poking fun at some stereotypes and just trends. And I'm like, this dude's gonna take something that's gonna be just meant to be funny and just use it as a roasting session. And at first up here, I'm like, okay, so they're not finna do anything stupid.
Right.
I forgot, I didn't get to about the last category. And then after what it was, that dude just straight shoehorned in for about 3 or 4 minutes, just putting all types of business out on the street.
Yeah.
even with the extra editing of that, I'm like, I think even those people could figure out who's he referring to.
And mind you, I was using Windows Movie Maker at the time.
Oh boy.
That was hell to edit. I'm not gonna lie to you. That took me at least 2 or 3 weeks to edit all that bullshit. Oh my god, but continue on.
Cause I mean, after like, the first playthrough, I was going by memory. But then I think I was showing one of our homeboys who goes to school up in Atlanta right now. He was like, why that show get canceled? So I played it. So we ended up watching the whole thing. And we got to that last part, because it been so long, I can't remember exactly who was each soundbite. But then, after about a few minutes of detail, he's going to like, okay, so I know exactly who's who here. And I'm thinking like, I'm not sure that any of those people watched that was involved outside of FNB. So I don't know if they ever figured out who that was or what's going on with that. But still, I'm like, that dude just dragging his dirty laundry out there.
Yeah.
And mind you, his whole thing, considering his personality and stuff that he did the short time I've been around him, I don't know how much, because I'm pretty sure most of his story is bullshit, because it may sound like he was completely innocent of anything involved there. Like, all these people are fuck us, but hey, I'm doing perfectly fine here.
Yeah.
And then like, and then the details started going into, I'm like, I was in my mind like, I wonder what your real part is in all this. Because you're ragging on this one guy for, I guess, being cooked. I guess. I thought they did one a few times you hit the dog use it.
Yeah.
So
He was definitely getting cooked.
So I'm thinking, were you? I said, well, there's some GB going wrong here, or and I mean, so they tell her, man, I ain't think so and so would like this or nothing like that. I'm like, unless you were just sitting there asking questions or volunteered answers, like he had way too much inside information, and that was the most annoying part about it. I'm like, that right there, just way too much personal information, and then it was so bad that like, yeah, the recording had to get canceled. I mean, not recording, but I said, we can't do part 2 of this. Cause at least for the time being, I didn't think that dude would, I think that dude just hear that we were recording this and he's definitely gonna show up to do this again. So.
Yeah, and then he tried to sit in on he said he wanted to sit in on Real Wrestling. I'm like, no. No, 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 no. That, I mean, 2 canceled shows is enough. You can't kill what made the Diakis channel the Diakis channel. Damn it.
Also, for Afro Citric Homeboy, I'm surprised he even bothered actually up here just following along with this. I mean, from what I thought, I thought he was cool with 2 of the 3 people involved, and he's just cheerleading along with the whole thing, and I'm like, at the time, like, yeah, some of that stuff is funny, but in the back of my head, I'm like, dude, you got a lot of business out here.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about it till later. I'm like, oh, bro, I'm glad this thing is edited so well. I'm like, I did not want to be involved with you name dropping everybody like that. And I'm like, nigga, I don't even know if you're telling the truth about all this.
Yeah, it's like, I'm hearing them one side of the story, but you know, where's the rest of the information? Like, then, like, something outside that he did have another guy, which is funny because it shares the same initials as one of the other guys, and he talked about him and his You know what? I don't even think I'm gonna mention that, but it's wrong. Don't do it. Don't pursue it. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Ooh, yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you were right. Now that I think about it, you were right about the Coonies and the Whites. They're only gonna last maybe 1 or 2 more, if 2 more like iterations. But
Because we restricted it to just that year alone, but then you gotta reshuffle a whole lot of categories just to do it.
yeah, and editing that thing was a fucking nightmare. You think a Real Wrestling Slammers is a nightmare, or a Real Wrestling Jeff is a nightmare? No, hands down had to be one of the worst things I have ever edited in my life. I think I'd rather do the old school version of the way I edited Real Wrestling with Windows Movie Maker than edit one of those again. Cause jeez, that was tough. But my last question. Now this may be a curveball, but I'm gonna throw it at you anyway. What's your overall opinion of FNB?
I'll put him in the category of one of these dudes who try to be real, but they're pretty fake. Yeah, like I think he tried to be one of the high school hood niggas try to act real hard, but then you're not.
Right.
Cause like he try, better yet, one of those guys you see always posting on Facebook like how up here like they always doing adult stuff all the time, like they got to brag about like, dog, if you ain't getting money, dog, what you doing, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, that way he come off as like one of those dudes like trying way too, basically being a try hard.
Right.
And of course I know apparently younger folks are gonna use try hard differently, but Like back, but from what I know from my time when we used to talk about try hard, it basically up here just no way calling somebody a poser or they're being fake. He could be cool at times, but at the same time, like the whole situation with the cop, I mean that situation just, I mean, mouthing off like that, so many other incidents, but like the.
We'll get into that later. We'll talk about that later.
So that's stuff like, I mean, the way he badmouth there folks are like, sound like, yeah, but then he tried to post on Facebook like like he tried to talk like he that loyal of a friend or whatever. Like, nah. I'm like, nah, cause like,
he a Janice ass nigga. Two-Face ass nigga. Harvey Dent ass nigga.
I'm like, he could be like, I'm like, he's cool as long, you know, almost like he's cool as long as he can get something out of you, and not then just talking a bunch of mad shit, which is why I think he left out a huge amount of what really went down between him and those folks.
Yeah. There's still a lot. I don't, at this point, I really don't care about, about finding out if that shit was real or not, because, they all seem to have moved on from that bullshit.
Yep.
And like, one of them's living in the Midwest somewhere. Is it Midwest? Whatever. The other ones seem to be doing pretty good for themselves. So at this point, it doesn't matter. Let me put it like this: they're probably doing way better than what he's doing right now.
Yeah, most likely.
But yep. Well, that's about it for this interview. I would like to thank you, Doug. Yeah, for with this interview. Hey guys, can I join? God damn it, Opti. Yes, you can join. Well, that's it. You can fuck off now. Wait a second. I need it.
All in all, I don't wish anything bad for FNB. But at this point, I was getting seriously annoyed. I was reaching a boiling point like the noodles he would bring over for me to cook for him. Why was he eating noodles? Because he blew all the goddamn money he got from the second check in about a month or two. Like he would tell me in a lot of his stories. I stood there and watched. It started to become FNB hanging out with FNB instead of FNB hanging out with PRP. Well, stay tuned for the next part. Well, that's it. You can... Damn, I thought I silenced this thing. How professional of me. Hello? Hey, Bessie. We need to schedule a meeting as soon as possible. Why can't you tell me over the phone? I'd rather drag it out into an episode. Fucking drama queen cuck. Alright, right now is fine. I just got done recording. I'll be over in a bit. You can fuck off now! That includes y'all too.